kind of get to the
root cause of the
underlying
problem. Yeah, the root is so important because we can treat therapeutically, which means just the top layer. So just treat the pain, nothing else. But we know, and I think anybody, even if you don't understand the medicine, will understand, if you don't treat the underlying cause. Ever since I've had that accident, I've had the headaches. So you're taking painkillers, but you're not treating the body because of the shock it went through because of the accident, or the shock the body went through when a loved one passed away, or childbirth. It can be any shock to the system. So you temporarily treat, but until you go back in the mind and make the mind okay and calm the mind down, saying, deal with the shock, then you have the long-term cure. So it's not just temporarily. So then what happens, for example, if somebody says, you know, I get the headache since I had that accident, my headache's always worse at night time. So you treat the headache worse at night time, but you treat it never been well since the accident. There are remedies called and back. So now, not just the headaches are better, even at night time, it's just gone. It's a long-term cure is so much better. If he's going in the sun, makes it worse. He will go in the sun, it's no longer headache's no longer there. But he doesn't need to continue the medicines every time he's in the sun. It's going behind the cause, aggravation from sunshine, it's easier. So the root, so like I say, one medicine has affinity to touch many areas. So here's Nature for the headache, and here's Nature never been well since grief. Put the two together, it will get the whole system back down. Like the tree that has many branches, one medicine can have the affinity to touch many areas. So sometimes we may not get your grief picture. You may describe the symptoms of a natriuretic headache. I may not have time to ask you, was you the grief, but we know if there was grief there, it will automatically go to deal with it.
So there is some kind of a domino effect all the time.
Yes.
One thing is connected to the other.
To another. It's like, it's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created our bodies. You know, it's created so that everything works together. We cannot disconnect one part and ignore the other part. So it's like the clock. One clock not working, it will have the effect on everything else. So if we disconnect, okay, let's just treat the stomach, or let's just treat the headache, but the body doesn't work like that. We are not made like that. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made our body is for everything to work in harmony. So for mental, emotional and physical, everything needs to work in harmony with each other. So when you disconnect part of the body, you're not actually looking at long-term cure. You're looking at a temporary fix. We want long-term cure is harmony within the whole system. The water in the body needs to be calm. It's like we are 70% plus water in our bodies. If there's a big wave on one side, you're just dealing with that wave, but it's having a ripple effect everywhere. Until you calm the whole body's water ripple effect, that ripple effect will still be there. So we need to get back to the system and say, hey, what's happening? Let's have a look. And then take more details and calm the system down. It's like when people get stomach problems, they can get very angry and they have lots of stomach problems. Yes, food will play a part, but why is it if Keba had this spicy dish one day and he's fine, and he had the same dish another time and he's not fine?
Not fine.
What was the difference? If it's exactly the same dish made by your wife with the same ingredients, the difference would have been, how did you feel that day?
So apart from the anatomical and physiological aspects of the human body, you also have to have a good knowledge of psychology, neurology, probably,
yes,
and all those things to really understand the generality of the human condition.
Absolutely, and I think that's how it should be, because it is looking at, the psychology is so important. When people are depressed, in the West, for example, when we are depressed, and you have people on antidepressants, then the blood pressure is up, and you've got blood pressure type, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. What is the root of this? Why are you depressed? So we need to go to the root of something. Why? What's happened?
So are people really trained in this area? There are specific courses.
Yes, no. We have. It's an intensive
curriculum,
course. Yeah, no, it's a degree course.
It's a degree course.
It's a degree course with the Centre of Homeopathic Education in the UK. We are the largest homeopathic institution, not just the UK. We have a branch in New York, and we have a branch in Budapest. It's growing very big in the West now. In India, it's part of the whole national health system. In Cuba, it's very big in the Cuban research as well, and in homeopathy. So it's internationally, homeopathy is well known. In the UK, it's also well known. At the first UK, we had homeopathic hospitals totally looking at holistic and alternative medicines. So it is well known. When people are unaware of it, then you go and talk. I mean, my theory, our theory is to make people aware, to make people understand there is not only one route to cure, there are many. Whichever route Allah gives you shifa, it's fair enough. But we must be aware that there are more than one. It is your choice, because we have been given choice, to which route we wish to take. But the choice is there, but it's making people aware, and actually it's empowering people's rights. It's empowering people to have the choice. There is more than one way of looking at your illness. And when you empower people, Kepa, it takes them to levels that they understand. They understand, why did I feel this? It puts them more in control of their feelings and their emotions.
Yeah, I could see that in your vision statement. Your foremost objective is the relief and prevention of diseases.
Yes. Again,
that preventive aspect of it
is so important.
How do you go about that?
I'll tell you how we go. Now, preventive aspects.
Advocacy, what does it entail?
Okay, preventive could be, like I said earlier, let's do a common example, the immune system. Now, if somebody is recurrent with fevers, is coming and going. Now, we don't want to just come and treat the fever. You want to treat behind, like we said earlier, the root cause.
Fever might be a symptom.
Symptoms, yes.
Okay.
But the root cause could be anything.
Anything.
But the body's reoccurring. It's continuous. We need to stop that continuation. One way of doing it would be to make the immune system stronger. So when he gets fever, he's fighting better. So in the long term, he's now getting less fevers because his immune system is stronger. He's able to deal with it better. So you're not... as what we've been seeing, I'll tell you an example in Gambia, when we've been going to villages, where we see lots of symptoms, a lot of sickness. And when we return to those villages, we see, it's lovely to see the people's faces and their smiles when they are better, and since taking medicine, their symptoms have not returned. So that is key. So that even when the medicine's finished, mashallah, a lot of them have been okay. And they're very, very happy, and that's the root causes. That's preventative. So you're helping the whole system. So same even on the mental emotional level. If you're treating the depression or the grief, so they're no longer on that track of ever since that thing happened to me, I've been like this. You've treated that now, so they're no longer thinking like this, they're now on the other track. Their whole system is stronger.
Okay, probably a victim of emotional shock or some kind of depressed person.
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with such a condition, you would need the background history of
Yes.
the person. You need to profile that individual.
So
but where the information goes wrong, then the treatment goes wrong.
no, treatment does not go wrong. I'll tell you what happens. Say, for example...
Because you're dealing with natural...
We're doing natural medicines. Now, let's take a typical example. Say the translator got the information wrong. So Keba's trying to tell me his symptoms, but my translator didn't understand properly, so he's told me wrong information. So I said, okay, it's a kind of headache, it's to do with this, I've selected a medicine, I've given it to you. Even if it was wrongly translated, the medicines cannot harm you. If your body needed any of that medicine,
because
it
the
will
medicine
take it.
is not adulterated.
It's so dilute and so safe, it cannot harm you. Even if I wanted to harm you, I could not harm you. That's how safe it is. This is one of the reasons I went into homeopathy, is because the safety in pregnant women and newborn babies, because I thought with women there was no help when they're pregnant and they're sick, and they find it's very difficult to take drugs because it will harm the baby. Whereas with homeopathy, it is very safe for baby and for mother. That's how safe it is. So if, coming back to your question, if they got the information wrong or was misinterpreted, you didn't get the medicine, it will either touch you or it won't touch you. And then you may come back and say, I've only a little bit better, I'm not that much better. Then I say, well, tell me more. And then the second time around, I might get the information correct. Then I say, I understand now. I will select a different remedy. So to that aspect, this is why we can have the confidence, inshallah, that we cannot harm. This is what's so wonderful about this way of treating. You're treating the people, but you cannot harm the people. You know, no matter what happens. Even if somebody, in the UK, I'll give you an example, we have kits, which people use from homeopathic kits for, general first aid, for example. If a child went to the kit, mummy's not looking, took out a bottle of pills.